Good morning. It is shortly after 7 a.m. Sunday or Monday, December 2nd. And I hadn't shared a sunrise in a while, so I'm laying here at the priest shelter up on top of the priest in Virginia, and got the sun coming up here, so I thought I'd share one of the many sunrises that I have the pleasure of waking up to in the morning out here on trail. So let's see if I can get it. Oh yeah, very nice. Nice view. Still a little cold. Still some snow on the ground from that snow we had when I was in the Shenandoah. It's still pretty cold, but it's not as cold as it has been. Which is nice. Makes for more comfortable sleeping and hiking. It's actually sunny yesterday while I was hiking, which was really nice. But yeah, I haven't updated in a little bit. Since I last checked in, I went ahead and did that long day. Made it out of the Shenandoah. Caught a ride into town almost immediately from a really cool trail angel named Steve. And Steve took me right into town, took me to the YMCA, which the YMCA is really, well, Waynesboro as a whole is a really cool trail town. They've got a lot of different resources for the hikers and different things. Like when you get to the trail, when you get to the road crossing for Waynesboro, there's a list of people who will shuttle you into town for free, so you don't have to worry about hitching, and you don't have to worry about paying for a ride in or walking in or whatever. You just call the list. So they've got that. There's a church in town that runs a hostel during peak hiking season, and I guess every Thursday they have like a big hiker feed, which I wish I was around for that. That's probably really cool. A lot of the places have Wi-Fi, and the YMCA in town, you can go there, check in with them, give them your ID. They'll let you go down, take a hot shower, get cleaned up, and when you go back to turn in your towel, they tell you about tenting that they offer for free. And I went ahead and did all that after I got into Waynesboro, which was Thanksgiving Eve. It was probably like 8:30, something like that, at night. And yeah, they told me about that tenting, and went over there and checked it out, and it's really, really nice. It's just a open area, like a field. I wouldn't call it a park. It's right next to like a greenway and a little river. But yeah, it's really cool. There's a porta potty there. There's a pavilion with picnic tables under it, and they've actually got solar panels on top of the pavilion that charge these batteries, and you can charge your electronic devices, which is really valuable to a thru hiker. So yeah, that was really cool. Spent my night there, and I was all out of food, and there's a Kroger right down the street, which couldn't have worked out better because it was cold and I was not trying to walk any extended distances. So yeah, I went down to the Kroger and got what has been my sort of go-to budget meal as of late. So when you get to a town, you're starving and you want to eat a ton, but you don't want to spend a ton of money. Here's what I get. I go to a grocery store or a dollar store or anything, and I'll get the cheapest 8-pack of hot dogs they have. Go get an 8-pack of hot dog buns and like a big cheap bag of chips. And that's usually like $4. And it's more food than you can eat in one sitting. And if you're at a grocery store, you can go to like their deli section, and they usually have the to-go condiments. So yeah, you can load up there, and that is what I did that night. I got a bunch of hot dogs, and the 8 hot dogs will fit in my pot, and I just put a little water in there and steam them, and then go to town. Good stuff. I think I got a big chocolate milk that night too. And yeah, woke up the next day, which was Thanksgiving, early, packed up and sort of hit the town, trying to find out what I was going to do, how I was going to spend my holiday. I wanted to find. I knew I wanted to eat at Mean Garden because it's a buffet and you can spend a little bit more time there without spending more and more money. And I knew I needed to go find somewhere with Wi-Fi. So I hit the town. First place I hit was Mean Garden. And sure enough on the door to Mean Garden, there's a sign that says they're closed on Thanksgiving. So that was a big time bummer. That was a big hit. And then I made my way into town, and sure enough, all the places were closed as I walked through town. On the other end of town was a McDonald's. Ended up making my way all the way to McDonald's, and even they closed. They closed at 3 on Thanksgiving. So I got a hot breakfast at McDonald's, and and was sort of just hanging out, drinking coffee, and I figured I took a shot in the dark, and I wrote a post on a couple of Thru Hiker Facebook pages, or AT Facebook pages, and the wonderful AT community went to work on my behalf. People started sharing the fact that Thru Hiker was looking for a place on Thanksgiving, and literally within like 45 minutes, one of my fellow Thru Hikers from this year, Northbounder, Crazy Frog, was on her way to come get me. And I had actually met Crazy Frog before. When she was coming through the Berkshires, she was hiking with King. And I'd been planning on picking King up and giving him a place to stay for the night and doing some trail magic for the people he was hiking around. And he actually called me early the day that I was supposed to meet him and said, "Hey man, we've got a hiker here who we think she's got Lyme's disease. She's like real drained and she needs to get off trail. Can you help her out? Are you available?" And I said, "Sure, no problem." So I went and I picked her up. It was Crazy Frog. Took her to the hospital. Sure enough, she had tick-borne illness. They gave her some medication and told her to rest. So I told her, I went and picked her back up at the hospital, took her back to the house, and said, "The couch is yours. Feel free to, hang out and rest as long as you like." So yeah, that I ended up picking King and those guys up, and they all went on sort of separated, and somebody told King that he's from Boston. They said that they were having a surprise birthday barbecue for one of their friends, and if he could make it, it'd be really cool surprise. Whenever I heard that, I was like, I'm off, and I've still yet to go to Boston. So we sort of did the, want to go to Boston? Want to go to Boston? All right, we're going to Boston. And then we went out and told Crazy Frog, said, "Hey, we're going to go to Boston. You're more than welcome to, the couch is yours here. Or if you want to come hang out on a couch in Boston, you're more than welcome to do that," because King still had his apartment in Boston. So she jumped in the car with us, and we all rode out to Boston, and King and I ran around surprising people in Boston for a day, and she hung out on his couch for another day, and then came back, and I dropped them both on trail. But yeah, when I dropped her on trail, she said, when you get down to the Blacksburg area, which is where she goes to school, she goes to Virginia Tech, she said, give me a call, I'll slack pack you, give you a place to stay, shower, the whole nine. So I was planning on doing that. I didn't think I was anywhere close to where she is. But yeah, I guess she was in Richmond, which is still like an hour and a half away for her family's Thanksgiving. But sure enough, she hopped in the car and came and rescued me. So that's awesome. And yeah, I got to spend Thanksgiving with the Henshaws, who are a wildly entertaining tribe. That's what I told them when I left. Never a dull moment with those guys. It was a good time. Laughed a lot, ate a lot of good food, got to meet a lot of the family members and cool people, and I just can't thank you all enough. That was very unexpected and took my situation from very sort of downtrodden or undesirable situation to as good as it gets. So I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. And then Crazy Frog dropped me back in Waynesboro early afternoon the day after Thanksgiving, and I still had some sort of town chores to do. I had to go pick up a care package that my mom sent me with some food in it, and I had to sort of line up my resupply, sort of like I did in Palmerton. Get myself ready. I want to try and make it to Daleville without stopping again, which is 135 miles or something like that. So I had to get a little bit of extra food. My boot, that sort of duct tape toe cap that I rigged up, starting to deteriorate a little bit, so I needed to deal with that a little bit. So I ended up taking that day off as well. Got back on trail the next day, and here I am, up on top of the Priest. A lot of people that I've met or talked with recently have told me that the hardest part between Waynesboro and Damascus is Three Ridges and the Priest, which I went through all that yesterday. So glad I did, because I'm looking at what I've got ahead of me, and it's looking pretty nice. It's looking very Pennsylvania-esque, but probably without the rocks. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be about 5 days, I think, to Daleville. It's from where I'm at. It's about 100 miles. So I'm thinking I'll make it there in 5, and then from there, sort of a fork in the road. I don't know. I still have to hammer out the logistics, but no worries. I'm still on pace to finish in 3 weeks. Granted, I've got to average a pretty good amount of miles. It's right around 20 with a couple of days off. But I should be able to do that. I don't think that's even at risk of being out of the realm of possibility. So I'm cool chilling, sitting here having breakfast. I'm having a hiker latte, which is instant coffee in a hot chocolate packet, and I'm having a breakfast of cookies out of a Kroger grocery bag. Yeah, the bag was starting to deteriorate a little bit, so I figured I needed to hurry up and eat those. Got some pretty good cookie dust in there too, some crumbles that I need to make sure to get. But yeah, that's essentially it for right now. I'm sure I'll check in along the way as I keep rolling along. There's a section hiker that's out for a pretty long section, River Rat. He's behind me. He didn't make it here yesterday, but I camped with him the night before last. Really cool guy. He thru hiked in 2008. He's a former Marine. He works now as a contractor, but he just got back from Afghanistan, and first thing he does is hop on trail for a couple of weeks. And he said he's going he's going to go to Daleville and then either get off there or hike back. So that's sort of what he's got going on. But yeah, he's kind of around. I don't know. Hopefully he can catch up to me. He was a pretty cool guy. We had pretty good conversation, and be nice to just sort of walk along with somebody. Yeah, that's about it. I will go ahead and close this out. I'll check in with you guys later. Take it easy.